Good morning. It's Monday, the 24th of November, 2025, just after 9 in the morning here from San Jacinto Peak. Probably wouldn't ordinarily in these conditions do a video report, but I've mainly got my mind on the fact that we have a long holiday weekend coming up, and so really just to give an update on conditions. This is a summary of 3 storms that we had that wrapped up on Saturday the 22nd. We'd had 3 minor storms in the space of 9 days. All 3 of them unfortunately underperformed in terms of snow forecasts. So what we've ended up with, scanning around here, you can see the relatively limited snow on the rocks here at San Jacinto Peak is about my measurements come in at about 17 inches. I had about 11 inches at Wellman Divide, that's 9,700 feet. About 12 at Annie's Junction, which is about 9,020 feet. And about 8 inches at Saddle Junction, that's 8,100, and it looks like it's about the same, somewhere around 8-9 inches in Long Valley, which is at about 8,600 feet on the eastern side. I won't go into details on I'll try and keep this brief, so I won't go into details on what happened with each storm, but we ended up here at San Jacinto Peak with about an additional 3 inches on Saturday the 22nd. After I gave the last report from up here with about 14 inches on the Friday, and so I came up with snowshoes and spikes, carrying them with no real expectation that I would need them. I didn't use them. I do have poles which I'm going to use on the way back down. It's possible I'll use spikes the lower I get. Sounds a little counterintuitive, but actually I came up Devil's Slide Trail this morning, and so the snow level was quite well defined. It's right around 7,500 feet. You're coming up either Devil's Slide Trail or Deer Springs Trail, South Ridge Trail I was on Saturday. You have minimal snow, very little evidence of snow until you suddenly get to about 7,500 feet, and then it's fairly abruptly on sort of all sides of you, several inches of snow, and that was because all 3 storms had relatively high freeze levels. So on the ascending something like Devil's Slide, you could certainly use spikes once you get to, like I say, maybe in some places above 7,000, certainly above about 7,500. Ascending probably not so necessary, but descending they will be. So the 2 major weather features that are coming up is, sadly, it's warm. I came up in just a thin base layer and shorts. It was about 32 Fahrenheit in Idlewild, but as I climbed Devil's Slide, it just kept getting warmer and warmer. I had a warm breeze at both Saddle Junction and then again at 9,000 feet. Here at the peak it's above freezing. It's already 35 with a nominal wind chill, and it's forecast to get warmer over the next few days. We've got above average temperatures for this time of year until about Saturday the 29th. So melting will be steady. And in particular where the snow's deeper, it's obviously going to get soft. So spikes potentially on some of the access trails, as it were, to the high country. And then there's the possibility of using snowshoes over the next few days, not because of the depth of snow really, but unfortunately because of it getting soft as it softens with it warming up. So I mean, coming up first thing this morning, it was relatively firm. I got a bit post-holy once I got closer to San Jacinto Peak because the tracks are pretty poor. But after that, it was other than that, it was relatively firm. But like I say, particularly if you're up, say, in the afternoons, maybe on Thursday, Friday, things could be pretty soft. After the warm spell, which lasts until about, as I said, I think about Saturday the 29th, then things get abruptly cold again. There's a system coming through, a little unclear at this point what, if any, snow it's going to produce. Forecasts of range from sort of 0 to about 6 inches up here at the peak. And again, freeze level this time actually, is a little bit lower. It's expected to be a colder storm. There's a chance of a dusting somewhere like Idlewild, 5,000, between 5,000 and 6,000, but it'll probably be pretty negligible, and if there's anything, it'll be an inch, but we'll see. As I say, so far the recent storms have all underperformed their snow forecast, so we'll see if that happens again. Hopefully not. So for those who are out and about over the holiday weekend, I would recommend carrying spikes certainly above about 7,500, and depending on how much you like post-holing, perhaps snowshoes above about 9,000. Obviously melting's going to be widespread. It was starting to come off the trees already, even all the way up here to the peak as I was ascending. It's going to be worse on the way back down. So hopefully that gives folks a fairly good indication as to what trail conditions are like. The peak trail is in reasonable shape, relatively well worn. There is no track coming through on Deer Springs Trail. I don't know yet if people have maybe made it as far as somewhere like Little Round Valley, but there's no track coming through, certainly from Little Round Valley up to join into the peak trail. So that would be an interesting exploration for someone. I would recommend snowshoes for that, for sure, because it'll be drifted to a couple of feet deep in places. Otherwise, a very pleasant day as always up here in the high country, and safe hiking everyone.